No, it really is easy.
Okay, sweet.
All right, so now piecewise defined functions. A piecewise defined function is a function that uses different formulas or rules depending on what values of x you're looking at. So it is all one function, but the pieces behave differently. So if you look at this first one, it's a line and then a parabola, an upside down parabola. And so the function is described, a piecewise function is always described with a bracket and two pieces, and then there's a comma, and what follows the comma is called a constraint or a rule. It's the rule that tells you when you use which piece. So this first piece, the line, is anywhere x is less than 0. And then anywhere x is greater than or equal to 0, the parabola is the piece you look at. So we got a different piecewise function over here. The 5, that's a constant, so I've got a horizontal line at 5. That's between the values where x is -4 and 2. But then anything greater than 2 is going to be a linear function, x plus 1. All right, so the easy part of piecewise functions is evaluating. So right here, they've given me p of 1, so this is my p function. And I go over here and I figure out, okay, well, 1, where does that fall? I look at my constraints. Does that fall in the first rule or the second rule? First rule. So since it falls in the first rule, I just use the first rule and I plug the value in. So 3 times 1 plus 5. B, first rule or second rule? First rule, because it equals 5, so that's the first rule. So 3 times 5 plus 5 is 20. C, second rule or first rule?
Second.
Second rule, because 10 is greater than 5, so that's going to be my second rule. So I plug in 10 squared minus 3. That would be 100 minus 3 is 97.
What is this constant?
Oh, good question. P is -6. And I look at my rules, and my bottom rule is when x is greater than 5. Well, -6 is definitely not. It's undefined. There's no definition, there's no rule for the number -6. So it hasn't been defined in this case. Okay, so take a second and you do the next 4. All right, so the first one, which rule does it follow? Top, middle, or bottom?
Middle.
All right, so I plug into the middle and I get 10. F of 3, top, middle, or bottom?
Bottom.
Bottom. So 2 times 3 minus 6 is 0. F of -100, top, middle, or bottom?
Top.
So the answer is just 8. And last one, 100.
Bottom.
Bottom. So 2 times 100 minus 6. 194. Is everybody good? Make sense?